Okay, so this demonstration is the preparation of the 4-page newsletter for Sky News. This is your assignment for week 2. I'm going to do 2 pages. I'm going to show you how to do 1 page. This will be recreated in your live session, so you'll see me do this again. So this is what it's going to look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over now to this, which is our pages. These are the pages that we produced for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this cover page. Now, there's the first page right here. There's page 2 and page 3 and page 4. We're going to do these in next week's, one of these pages we're going to do this week besides this cover, but I'm going to just do the cover for you. So I'm on page 1. You can tell that it's page 1 because it's highlighted. So the first thing that I want to do here is go into my layers panel, and I'd like to set up a couple of layers just to make this a little bit easier for me. So the first layer, which I'm going to, well, actually this first layer is already there, and that's my traced layer. And what I did essentially was I brought this image in, which is an image that you're supplied to work with, and I used transparency to, I'll unlock it. And what I did was I placed this, file place, and then I went to the object menu and I went to effects, transparency, and you can see what I did here. It was really very simple. With the object selected, I just simply set the level of opacity to 38%, and if I drag this back out, that's what it looks like when you import it. Okay, so again, I'm going to bring it back down to somewhere around 30. 36 is fine. I just want it there, but I want it to whisper at me. Hit OK. I'm going to lock that layer. I want this to whisper at me. I don't want it to shout. I want to be able to see what's there, but I want to be able to build on top of it without it getting in the way. That's what this whole thing's about with this, all right? And this is not really a design, creative type of assignment as much as it's just a get used to and familiar with the interface and how to work with some of the basic elements type of a deal, okay? So my next layer is going to be my image layer, so I'm just going to rename that image. And I'm going to name this type and hit OK. So why I'm doing this is because now when I place images on the page, I'm going to place images on the image layer. I can lock that layer or hide that layer as I choose, and it helps me to build what it is that I'm going to be building. Okay? Really very simple and logical. All right, so I'm going to go to my image layer, and I'm going to start bringing the images in. Now the Sky News, let me go to my desktop here and open up my week 2, and let's go to assignment 2, and let me go to the assignment files. In here you'll see that I have Sky News, which is a PDF, and Sky News, which is an EPS file, and Sky News, which is a logo. Sky News, which is an AI file. I'm sorry. You people were given the AI file. What I did, and I'm going to demonstrate this. I should have actually opened this program up before I started this, because now it's going to take a minute for this program to open. But what I would recommend that you do is, instead of just putting the Adobe Illustrator file into the application, you can come in here. All right, this is almost open. You can actually save this out. Let's go view, fit artboard and window. It's still opening, so it'll be sluggish for a second. Let's go fit artboard and window. Yeah, it's still a little bit sluggish because it's waking up. Did I get it? Fit artboard and window. Try it again. There we go. Okay, so this is basically your Adobe Illustrator file. You can place Adobe Illustrator files directly into InDesign documents. I don't recommend it, and why is because basically the printer will probably have to go in and modify it. So I would prefer that you know this and not do that. So if you don't get those files in here, and we'll go back to this for a second. So if you open this up and you see Sky News like this, you might want to convert it either to an EPS or a PDF. And it's very easy to do this. I'll show you how to do it. Just go to the File menu, and you're going to go Save As, and you're going to get this dialog box right here. You'll have Save As Types. And if you drop this down, you'll have the ability to make an EPS right there or a PDF right there. Really simple. Just click on PDF. And see, there's one there already. Now what's going to happen is it's going to overwrite this, which is okay because I'm just demonstrating this. Hit save, and see, it'll tell me, you want me to overwrite this? Yep, go ahead and do it. Not hurting anything. So I'm going to stick with Illustrator default, but there are different standards that you could use in here, okay? But for our purposes, and here, there are also different standards that you could use. I'm just going to stick with Illustrator default, all right, for this, because I want to just show you how this works. Now, I don't need to preserve Illustrator editing capabilities. I can shut that off. I can embed page thumbnails. I don't need that. I can shut that off. Create Acrobat layers. I don't need that either. I can shut that off. So once I've done all this, I just hit Save PDF. And it'll say saving this. It'll give you this warning. Don't worry about that. Just hit OK. And you've made a PDF. It's as simple as that. Go to the File menu. And I'm doing this very quickly because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with this. I just want to give you a general idea. Here's the EPS format. So I'm going to click on that. And again, since I already have one in there, this is going to come up. And I'm going to hit save. And it's going to tell me, do I want to overwrite it? Yes. Now yours isn't going to do this because you don't have them in there probably. Okay, so here it is. The Illustrator CC EPS. Now there are different versions in here. You don't worry about this unless your printer tells you specifically, hey, I don't have CC. I have CS6 or CS5. Then you can swap it out by just clicking this. If you don't have a problem with the versions, just leave it the way it is. And of course, you're going to preview it as a TIFF. You leave that alone. You're going to want transparency. Well, in this particular case, since it has a colored background, that's really not that important. I just would basically leave it alone. This, I noticed that when I roll over it, this is no longer fonts. So you don't have to embed fonts. You can just click that away. And then I'm going to leave all the rest of these things alone, and it's saving the EPS format. That's all there is to it, and you'll end up with these files as I showed you. Whoops, where did it go? Did I close it? I did. Son of a gun. Stupid. Go back one more time real quickly. Assignment 2. And there are the two files that I'm talking about right there. Those are the two that you want to use. All right? All right, so let's get back to this. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a frame. This is what you always do. I'm going to use this rectangle frame tool. There are two of them here. Both of them will do the same job, but I tend to like the one with the X in it because it's a little more visual. That's the only reason I do. And I'm going to just click and I'm going to drag a frame across the top just like that. Just like that. There we go. And file place with the frame selected. File place, and I'm going to come back up. I'm going to go to DES-105 week 2 into the assignments. And I'm going to come into the design assignments file, and now my logo, either one, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to choose the PDF. Doesn't matter, you can use either one. Hit open, and there it is. It's in there. It's just that simple. I mean, there's no big sweat on this. That's all you have to do to create that. Now we want to make sure that this is on the image layer, which it is, because that's one of the images. All right, so anything that is an image, you're going to put on that image layer. That's all there is to doing that, putting that in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of work down from top to bottom. So I'm going to start off by building this top area first, and then we'll build this bottom area, and then we'll be done with this. And you could see how easy this is to do. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to the type layer. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to put that text in there. So I'm going to get my text frame, or my text tool, and I'm going to drag out a text frame, something along the lines of that right there. And I have text that I've actually prepared for this. So I'm going to go to my Word, give me a second, go File, Open, and let's see here. Whoops, you know what, there we go. Let's see, lyrics, cover type, there we go, cover type. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. You know what? I'm sure I did this. Let's see. Let's go back. I thought I did this at least. Assignment 2. Maybe I didn't. Copy. Could that be it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I knew I did do it. There we go. It's there. Okay, so Today in the Sky. I'm going to select this and copy it. Then I'm going to go back into InDesign and click the frame and Control V. So there I have today in the sky, and it's the same basic words. What I need to do is I need to format that, and I need to format that so that it works there. And I think, let me just first off say that all the copy that I'm going to be working with here is going to be Myriad Pro or Helvetica. I am using Myriad Pro because I don't have Helvetica on mine. So you could use Helvetica, you could use Myriad Pro if you have it. What I like about Myriad Pro especially is all these different variations of the Myriad Pro font. These are all the different individual faces, and that's a very good thing. So I'm going to select the words today in the sky. We select it, and it's not going to be Myriad Pro regular. What it's going to be is it's going to be bold condensed. So it's Myriad Pro bold condensed. As far as the size is concerned, I'm going to pump it up to 36 and see what we get. And that's not quite right. So let me go up to 60, see how that is. And that's close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this up a little bit more until I hit that point right there, and it actually comes out to be 64 point. So when I deselect it, that's what it looks like. And you can see that this really sits perfectly over top of the sample. If I hide this layer, it sits exactly over top of the sample. So if it's a slight variation to that, if you're using Helvetica and there's a slight variation to that, it's okay as long as it's really close. And this is really close. So I just want to make sure that you understand clearly what I'm expecting here. I'm expecting you to use the sample and take the time to put your elements in such a way that the whole thing matches up as best you can. This is really just an exercise in getting used to how to work with Adobe InDesign more than anything else, really. So take that to the bank. All right, so now I'm going to switch back to the image, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring this photo in, and I'm going to show you how to create this little arrow type thingy here. So they're going to be done on your image layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and grab a frame, and I'm going to come up to about where I think the top of that is, and I think it's right about there, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag a frame out that's like that, right about like that. Boy, this thing is just not. And if you have, let me put a stroke on this first of all so you could see it. So I'm putting a stroke of black on this so you could see it. Okay, now you see my frame isn't exactly in the position that I want it to be. So I can down arrow that, and now it's in the position where I want it to be at the top. But you see it's a little deeper at the bottom, and it was giving me trouble. One of the things that we did in our discussion this week was talk about all these different tools. Well, what I want to do is I'm going to show you one of the tools that we talked about, which is the direct selection tool. The direct selection tool can be used to do things like this, such as clicking on this frame. Now, when you use the direct selection tool to click on a frame like this, instead of the whole frame selecting, the point which I clicked on, the anchor point that I clicked on, became red while the others are open, which means that that particular anchor point is selected, and only that one. So I can hold down the shift key and I can come over here and I can click on that anchor point, and now what I've done is I've selected those two anchor points. These two anchor points are not selected. So if I use the up arrow, what I can do actually is I can take that frame and I can bring that frame up and make it go exactly where I want it to go, just like that. It's cool. So now what I want to do is go back and get the regular selection tool, click on the frame. Oh, and by the way, do you see how when I clicked on that frame is sitting over top of my other frame in the way? Well, we can fix that too. You can go to the Object menu, and you can go to Fitting, and you can fit frame to content. And if you see what it did, it pulled that frame up until it's now sitting right underneath that copy, and it is now out of the way of this frame, and I can select it with no trouble. So these are all little things that you can do once you see it done, and once you try it, and once you remember it. That's what this is all about, is just seeing the things, trying it, and remembering it, so that when you work on this, you can go in and do this stuff consistently and do nice work. With this frame selected, I'm going to go to the File menu, and I'm going to go Place. I'm going to come in, I'm going to find my picture, which is Airplane 1 right there. I'm going to hit Open. Airplane 1 comes in, and it's a little bit bigger than I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is, with the regular selection tool, I'm going to click on the middle, watch what I'm talking about. If you come in here with this tool, there's a center point. And if you click on that center point, what you can now do is you can hold the Shift key down. I'm holding the Shift and the Alt key down, and I'm just going to bring that in until I get the picture looking the way I want it to look, which is about like that. So there you have now the second element, which is the picture. Now, they don't seem to have black frames around this, so I could, if I want, come in here and just put none on that frame. And now, if you want, I can go to the View menu. Let's hide the trace layer so you can see what we got done so far. And you can go to the View menu and go to Screen Mode Preview, and you can see what this is going to look like so far. Okay? View, Screen Mode Normal, and we are ready to move on. So the next thing that I want to do is, I'm on the image layer. I want to create this little arrow thingy. So how I do that is, again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a frame, and the frame is going to run like this, right to here. So I'm actually creating a frame that goes to the graphic here and to about the point of that little arrow shape. And I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see this a little better. And this is a little tricky to do, to be honest with you. And actually what I want to do is I want to drag that up just a touch. Okay, there you go. Now this is a little tricky to do. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with color. And before I do that, I want to drag a guide out. There's a guide. That guide is placed about where my points of that arrow are. That's why I'm putting that guide there. I'm trying to give myself some visual references, some cues as to where I can place points on this shape to make this thing look like that arrowhead. Because now what I'm going to do is use the eyedropper tool to come over here and fill that shape. And actually I have it set on stroke, so let me just hit OK and let me swap that. So now it's got a fill, and that's what this is supposed to look like. So here's what I want to do. With this selected, I want to come in here and I want to get the pen tool. And I'm going to come over with the pen tool and I'm going to click right there on that line right there. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on that line right there. And what I've done is, and I don't think I actually hit that the right way, so I'm going to click on that with the direct selection tool. Let me deselect it. Let me click on it with the direct selection tool. Yeah, there we go. And let me just move that up a touch. There. Okay, so you see what I did was when I select this thing now, you see how I've added a couple of anchor points to it? So I got these anchor points up here, and I got these anchor points which I added with the pen tool, and then these anchor points down here. Now what I need to do is one more thing, and that is put an anchor point right there in the middle of that rectangular shape. So once again, get the pen tool, come over here and click right at that point on the path and place an anchor point there. So now that I have this, let's go to the guide. Let's go View Guides. Hide Guides. There we go. And let me select this object and show you the points. Okay, so now I have points. Let's see here. I got points here, here, and here. All right. So what I'm going to do is come in here with my pen tool, and I'm going to get my Delete Anchor Point tool. So here's my point. My point is here, my point is here, my point is here. I want this to look like an arrow. So to do that, all I'm going to do is with the Delete Anchor Point tool, okay? Remember, there's a pen tool, Add Anchor Point, Delete Anchor Point, and Convert. We're using the Delete Anchor Point tool. I'm going to click on this corner point and watch what happens to the shape. There you go. I'm going to click on this. There you go. And now, if you go to the View menu, Fit Page and Window, you'll see that I just created that shape right there, and it is in fact on the image layer. It's exactly what I want. Okay? Simple. So now what I want to do is I want to put the text on top of it. So I'm going to hide that, and I have to set this text up. So once again, I think to make this a little easier, I'll zoom in on this little area here a little bit so that I can get a better look at it, you know, and move it over slightly so I can kind of see where I'm working here. That's pretty good. More, and let's zoom in one more time. There we go. I like that. That's good. All right, so now I'm going to again switch to layers because I've got the layer for the image hidden. That's got my graphics on it. I'm going to move up to the type layer this time, And I, again, have my copy here. Okay, so here's my copy. Take a flight of discovery. See it right there? And online group flights, how to be ready. So I have my text ready to go. And I'm going to come in with this and create a text frame. The first text frame will be for take a flight of discovery. And actually, I'll probably bring that frame directly over both sides like that. Okay? And then I'll get my text tool and I'll place my text tool in there. And I just want you to see that with the text tool selected, there's the cursor. The cursor is flush left. I don't want it to be flush left. I want this to be center aligned for these two elements. So I can do that right here. Just change the alignment to center. So there it is, center aligned. And then I'm going to come into my Microsoft copy and I'm going to select take a flight of discovery and copy it. And then come back here and Control V, paste. Oops, I messed it up. Control V, paste. Take a flight of discovery. So there it is. Now what I want to do is I want to format this and size it and set the line height for it. Once again, this is Myriad Pro but not regular. This is Myriad Pro bold condensed. So I make it bold condensed. Then if I want, I can actually move this down a little bit. Whoops, let me bring it down just a touch. Right about there is good. Let's go back in and select it. And let's start making this bigger. And I'm going to say I think that's probably around 24 point. And I'm wrong. It's a little bit smaller. So let's go up a little bit more. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I think 30 is probably good. Yep, I think I'm on the money with 30. However, the box gets lost, so I'm going to drag the box open. There you go. Now I'm going to move this over a little bit and up a little bit, and it's probably good where it is, really. I guess that's about it. All right, so the problem is that I do not have the correct leading or line height. So how do you fix that? Easy. All you're going to do is you're going to select the text, and you're going to come into the leading, and you're going to start going in the upper direction. Oh, I'm sorry, going in the down direction to bring it up. Oh man, what's the matter with this thing? There we go, let's try it again. What the heck's the deal here? Oh boy, it's always something. Why is this leading giving me trouble? Why am I having trouble with this today? You know why? I think I know why. Enter. There we go. Now I think maybe that'll do it. Let's try that now. Maybe that's... Nope, it's still doing it. I'll be damned. There's always something. Oh, this is nightmarish. Wow, unbelievable. Alright, so for some reason this just does not want to give me the leading that I want. I have no clue why it wants to do this. Let's go to 48. See, it doesn't want to go any shorter than 48. I don't want to go 40. I want to come up. See, it'll stop right there. Oh, wow, this is insanity. Alright, so I'm going to go edit cut, because I'm not going to sit here all night and mess with this. I'm going to go edit cut, and I'm going to deselect it. I'm just going to go edit paste there, and I've pasted it in as a second line. I just don't want to do this, but it's just in order to keep moving. I've done this. Okay, so now I got these two frames of text in place where I want them. I'm going to go object fit frame to content, and now I have those two. Let's see if I can have a better outcome. Let's see if I can get a better outcome with the next group right here. All right, so here's that's essentially what you want to do. And by the way, this thing here, I think what's happening is it's got some returns. Yeah, let's get rid of that return. There we go. Okay, and now I'll close this up. All right, so there we go. All right, so there's that. And this is going to end up being white. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to set this. If you have that problem, do what I did. That's acceptable. It's not what I like, but it's acceptable. I'm going to make that white. And I'm going to make this white. And when I say white, I really mean paper. Okay, so there's that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drag out another frame. And that's going to be for this line. And this will also be center aligned. So it'll be center aligned. Come into Microsoft. I'm going to come in here. It's online group flights, how to be ready. So I'm going to select those two lines, online group, flights, help copy, and come in here and edit, paste. Actually, before I do that, I want to change the size of this down to about 12 point. Yeah, 12 over 14. There we go. Let's try that. Control V. There we have it. And Control A. And let's make it black so we can see what's going on here. Okay, and for some reason I still got, take a, that's with 12. Didn't get it all. Okay, so there you go. Take a online flight, how to be ready. Online group flight. So take a, gotta get rid of the word take a, that's what it is. Okay. Alright, so online group flights, how to be ready. There's the copy. Let's move it down a little bit until we get it about where it should be. Now, this also has a return, it looks like, so I'm going to see if I can get rid of that return. I'll see why that's there. What is the text that's overset? What is it? Jesus, I'm having a heck of a flight. Okay, so there it is, it's text. There. Oh, wow, here we go again. Okay, there we go. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to start bringing this. Oh, first of all, this doesn't want to be bold. This wants to be regular. So I'm going to bring this down to condensed. Just regular old condensed. And let me lower it slightly. I think it's got to come down just a touch. Right about there is probably good. Select it again. And actually, what you could do is you could come down and you could hold a shift return, and now what you have is you have this copy sitting the way it should sit. All we have to do is size it and set the line height. So now that I got that, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to start making this text bigger. And I'm just going to come up until I get to a point where I think it's the right size. And I think 22 points probably pretty good. Yeah, I think I could go with 22 points. Let's take a look. Yeah, 22 points, not bad. I think that's about what I want. Except now that the leading is not right. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to start opening up the leading. Bring the leading down until I reach that point right there, which is 20. So it's 22 over 20. And that's what it should look like. Okay? And I'm going to select it. And again, I'm going to come in here and make it white or paper. And so when I bring back my images and deselect that, and I didn't get the white, I'll come back in. Oh, wow. See what this is? Craziness. What's going on with it? What's going on here? Okay, so I got a frame for some reason. Why, I don't know. There we go. Okay, so that is going to be white paper. There we go. All right, so let's go to the view menu, and let's go to screen mode normal, and view fit preview. I'm sorry, view fit page and window, and there you have it so far. All right, so we've got to this point. Now this next piece is really very easy. All you're going to do is you're going to put that picture of those people in there. Again, come over here on your image layer, and you're going to drag out a frame about like that. Drag out a frame, and file place. Take your staff, open, and there's your staff. And all you need to do with the staff is to select the picture inside of this. And you're going to hold down the Shift key. I hold down the Shift and the Alt or Option if you're on a Mac. And I just drag this thing down until I get the majority of those people showing in my frame. And it's probably good right about like that. I could move it over a slight bit to get his shoulder in. And I think now I have it. Okay? So there you have the whole top of this. Now what's left is to put in 2 subheads and some copy and build this little guy down here and put a picture in. So this is where we are with this. We're about halfway through this thing, and really this is not so terribly difficult. What you're going to do is you're going to create 3 text frames. Let's go to the view menu and let's go to grids and guides, show guides. And let's go back to view menu, screen mode, normal. Okay, and you can see now your guides are showing. Go to the view menu and go to grids and guides. I'm going to clear what I have there right now. Delete all guides on spread. And I'm going to drag out a couple of new guides. So that guide will be right there, and that will be the baseline for my text, my subheads. and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to set a line right about here, which will represent the I'll use the down arrow to get it exactly where I want it. Right about there is good. So now I have two guides out. One guide is for my subheads and the other guide is for my frames. So what I think I'll do is I think I'll show you how to do the subheads first, and then we'll do the text down here. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a character style for this. If we set up a character style for this, we will be able to and you're going to do this because you'll use this character style on other pages for subheads. So I'll start off by coming in and dragging a frame out. You get a frame over here and bring the frame over to here like that. Okay, so I have a frame that runs 2 columns. And I'm going to come in my copy, travel bargains for airline employees. I'm going to select that copy and come back into my program and Control V, and I've placed that text in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, format it, and it's going to become bold condensed. And then I'm just going to start bringing the size of it up until I reach a point where I like it visually, which is about right about there. I'm going to say, let's go back to 20. I'd say it's 27 point. Don't worry about the leading, because what we're not doing here is creating paragraphs. We're creating just headlines. All right. So here's my headline, and I'm just going to move that headline down until it sits in the position that I want, which is right about there. See, and again, as I say, it's pretty close. That's the whole thing. You make this thing pretty close. That's what you want to do. All right. So now I got this thing selected. I'm going to go over to my character styles. See, now I already have this made as a subhead, so I'm going to delete these things. Let me, first of all, let me just deselect everything, and let me get rid of this. Delete that, and let's delete that. Okay, so I'm going to come back and select that copy, and I'm going to create a new character style. Now, the new character style is set on Myriad Pro plus bold condensed plus a size of 27 point, which is exactly what I put into that text. And I'm just going to call this Subhead, S-U-B-H-E-A-D, Subhead, and hit OK. And there you have it. I have my character style, and you'll see that this line of text here isn't quite associated with Subhead yet. So what I'm going to do is, while this is still selected, I'm going to click on Subhead, and now let's see if I've got it associated with Subhead. See, I do. It's highlighted. That's telling me that that now is associated with the subhead. All right. So I'm going to create a frame, another text frame, right over here. And this is a little tricky to do. All right, look at that. There, we got it. Okay. I'm going to bring the frame over to about there for now. Let's see. I got it. I do. Let me fix that. I really want it over there. I will bring it back. There we go. And I'm going to select it with the text tool. All right. What happened to my frame? Jeez. What's going on with this today? Delete it. Wow. All right, let me zoom in. This is getting to be a pain. All right, here we go. All right, let me get my frame built. Drag a frame over. There's my frame. Okay. Oh, I know. Is it? No. What's going on with this? View. Yes, normal. All right, well, let's see what's going on. The sky's the limit. Let's copy it. Let's see if it actually is there. I'm not getting a frame. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Edit, paste. Wow. What a pain in the neck this is. Delete. Okay, so let's go back to 12 point, 11 point. And bold condensed. Wow. This is just turning edit. Paste in place. Alright, so there it is. I really don't know why this is causing me trouble with this. I have no clue why this is happening. This is just being annoying. Alright, so we bring it over here. I had to copy and paste this thing in because it just was giving me too much trouble. And hit Subhead, and it actually gives me the subhead. Now the problem is that the subhead is too big for that area right there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to track this a little bit. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to new character style, all right, and it's going to be based on Subhead, okay. I'm going to call this Subhead Subsquish, Subsquish. Okay. Advanced character format. I want, let's see here, character formatting. Where do I want here? Let's see here, tracking. Here we go, tracking. I want to track this thing in. Let's track it in like 50. Let's see what that looks like. Preview it. And I think it's working. Let's see, I go a little bit more, 51. It's not even showing me. Let me hit OK. Wow, this is really a pain. This is just such a pain that this is doing this. This is such a pain. Let's try tracking it here. Tracking. Let's go 25. Oh, wrong way, sorry. Negative. Let's go negative 25. Let's go negative 20. There, and that's it. Okay, so there it is. I've tracked this. Let's go to the paragraph. And this is basic paragraph. All right, so what I'm going to do then, I think probably since this is basic paragraph modified, I'm going to come in here and new paragraph. I'm going to call this sub SUB underscore SQUISH. There's Subsquish. Okay, there we go. Oh, this is so annoying that it's doing this. Okay, so now Subsquish. Okay, so there it is. I've got this thing set to Subsquish. Now, if I click on this and I apply Subsquish to that, you see what it does. I don't want that. I want that to be up. This is really being a pain in the neck. I'm losing my oh wow, this is such a pain. New paragraph style. Sub SUB and hit OK. Now let's see if I got it now. There. Okay, so now I'm going to associate that with sub. If I click on this, this is Subsquish. Sub is that, right? Okay, so there you go. See what I'm doing? I know this is being a pain in the neck for me, but what I'm doing basically is I'm setting up a paragraph, a character style. And you know why this is giving me a problem? Because I'm stupid. I'm putting this in paragraphs. That's my problem. I'm going to delete these things. God, you know what? What a mess I'm making of this. I really am. Subsquish, there it is. See, again, Subsquish is messed up. What I need to do with Subsquish is I need to fix this. But anyway, I have this thing in a paragraph style, Subsquish. These things should be in your character style. I'm going to leave it here, okay, for the time being. I'm just going to leave it here. Let's go edit, undo. Just make sure that you don't put these into the paragraph style, because you don't need to do that. They really belong in the character style. All right, I have them in the paragraph style. It's a mistake. I'm admitting it. I'm taking ownership of it. But make sure that you do the same thing that I just did there, only you're going to do it in the character, not paragraph. So here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to come in and I'm going to put these paragraphs in. So I got my guide there. I'm going to come over and get my text tool, and I'm going to drag this thing out like that. And then I'm going to drag this thing like that, right about to there. And then this guy right to here. Okay, and I could do this one of two ways. I could either just leave these as individual, because this is not real copy. What I could do is I could just select this guy and go type insert fill with placeholder text. Okay, or I could link these if I wanted to. I could link this from here to here to here, and then fill it with placeholder text. I could do that as well. So I'll show you how to do that. Click on that, and then click on that, and I've linked those two, and you could see the link appearing. And then click on that right here, and click on that, and you could see the link here. So now I have these things done. I'm going to go type insert, fill with placeholder text. And there we have placeholder text. The whole thing is filled. Okay. Now, one thing is, remember, this is not live text, so you really don't have to worry too much about this, because it's not real text. It's just for the purpose of this layout. So what I did was I moved this up to where it's got to be. This is about where it's got to be. If I want, I can move this up one line. Actually, I don't think I need to do that because I think that's right where it should be there. And this one here, if I wanted, I could drag this down a little bit more and pick up one more line right there. Okay? I don't think I need to do that. I think if I move this back up to here, that would be fine. I think that looks fine to me. Actually, I'm wrong. I think I should bring it down to there. Yeah. Okay. So there we have this. Now, the only thing is this is not really formatted properly. So I'm going to select the text, Control A to click all the text. And I'm going to take this, I'm just going to set this up to be regular. It's just going to be regular. And I'm going to make this thing, I believe it's 11. Let me just deselect and see how close I am. It's actually pretty close. So it looks to me like what we're talking about here is 11 point over 13. I'm just going to make it 13. 11 over 13. All right, so Control A just to make sure I got it. 11 over 14, 13. There we go. 11 over 13 is what I got. All right, now there's a couple of other things that you might want to do here. Since this is all just one big running paragraph, it looks pretty terrible. So what I would do maybe is I would come in here and I would delete this thing and hit a period. I'm just doing this to make this look a little bit better. And I'll take that and I'll hit backspace to bring it up. And then I'll hit enter and I will then put okay, and then here is a paragraph, and I think there is a paragraph. I don't really like that paragraph, but that's how it's breaking. I guess what I could do is I could change that by removing that and then just making that a lowercase b. What I'm doing is I'm trying to work this thing so that it looks like a balanced paragraphing. All right, there. And what I'm going to do is right here I'm going to hit period. Okay, and I'm going to end that paragraph right there, hit that O, and then I'm going to backspace it, and hit enter. Okay, and I think I'll just leave that one alone. The reason I'm doing this is because what I want to do is I want to add some space, I want to add some formatting to this. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to select the copy, Control A, and I want to go into my paragraph, and I want to choose a little bit of space after. So I'm just going to add a little bit of space after, and you can see where the space after is hit. Here, 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 and here. And those are exactly the places where I put my copy. Okay? So you want to do that, and then after you do that, what you want to do is you want to go to your paragraph. Your paragraph. And you want to set on this body copy, let me get rid of that too, because the body copy is no longer viable. Let me get that out of here. Okay, so the body copy is gone. Come back in here and select this. Control A. Come on. Control A. All right. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a new paragraph style, which I'm going to call body, B-O-D-Y, and hit OK. All right, so now I'm going to create this new paragraph style that says body. I'm going to click on it to make sure that that's associated with it. Now what I want to do is I want to do one more thing. I think what I want to do is I want to edit this a little bit. So I'm going to double click on this and I'm going to come into advanced character formatting. Let's see here. I want to go to basic character. Where is it? It's paragraph caps, drop caps, and nested bullets, numbering, character color, underline, option, span, justification, animation, tabs, indents, and spacing. Here we go. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go with a first line indent, and I'll show you what happens. So I'm in indents and spacing, and I'm modifying body. First line indent, I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to put 0.0625 and hit preview so you can see what that looks like. And of course, it's not going to show me. That's just terrific. So I'm going to hit it one more time and hit OK, and let's see if that even does it. See, it doesn't even do it. It's so frustrating that this doesn't do this. I just can't even believe it. So let's go here and let's try to do it individually. And I'm going to go first line indent. There, that's what I want. I want that. Now I'm going to select this and come in here and create, wait a minute, I want paragraph styles and create new paragraph style. Paragraph, let's call this body, B-O-D-Y _I-N-D-E-N-T, body indent, hit OK, And now let's see where we are with this body indent right there. Okay, actually body, now if I click on body, do you see how that, hit cancel, hit body, what it does is it throws it out, but if I hit body indent, it throws it in. So then what I would do literally is either include this from the beginning. I'm going to hit body indent to put that into it. And then I'm going to click to select the rest of this stuff. Let me get the rest of this stuff selected. Get all this stuff selected. Click on body indent. And now I've got body indent. I don't like the way that this one line breaks like this. This is not the right way that this should break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and click on that frame, open this frame up a little bit. Okay, or better yet, I think I probably should just make that a smaller frame. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. All right, now let's go to the view menu, fit page and window, and I'm going to take my layers and hide my tracing layers so that you can see what we got so far. There we have it. This is where we're heading with this. Now again, remember, this is fake text, so if you don't like that one line there, since it's not real copy, you're not doing any harm by doing what I just did there, which was hiding that copy. Okay, this is, if it were real copy, you would have to fix these things, but this is not real copy. This is just to give you an idea of how to work with this. All right, so we have this now, and I'm going to bring back the trace. We're going to put in this girl, and we're going to put in this issue bit, and we'll be done with this. So once again, I'm going to zoom into this area right here, and I'm going to, there's a continued on page 3 line, so we should probably put those in right now. Let me just quickly do that. So I'm going to click on the type, and I'm going to drag a frame over here, and I'm just going to type in CONTINUED on PG period 3, continued on page 3. Okay, and you know what? I probably should just leave that. That's probably pretty good. I'll leave it in bold. I'll leave it in bold. Actually, let's make it regular. Let me make this frame a little bit bigger, and let's make it in just semi-bold. There we go, semi-bold. And you know what? Actually, semi-bold italic might look good. I think that's probably what it is. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, I think I kind of like semi-bold italic. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to move that into position, and you can actually move this up a little bit if you want because there's some extra space here. I'm going to go edit copy, edit paste in place, and then I'm just going to move this over since I basically have it and it's the same look. I'm just going to bring it over to where the other one is and bring it down to about, let's say right about there, and this one is going to be continued on page 2. Okay, so I'm just going to change, and again, these are fakes. They're just there to show you how to do some of these elements. So there you have that. So I'm going to put the girl in now. To do her, all I'm going to do is create a frame, and I'll probably make this frame a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to drag out a frame, something like that, okay, because I got a little extra space here. File, place. This is, again, rather simple. Click on the girl, open, girl comes in, and I just select the girl, and I'm going to, oh man, come on. Are you kidding me? Here we go again with this. Oh, wow. What is going on? Oh, there it is. It's so big I can't see it. That's what the problem was. Shift and Alt, and I'm going to bring the girl down until she fits. And let's see how she fits. Is she fitting actually? Yeah, she is fitting. And actually, I could make her a little bit bigger. All right, and I could then take this guy, and I could move this guy up right about to there. Good, I'm happy with that. Let's go to the layers menu again real quick to see what we got. And there you have her, okay? So this is what where we're heading. This guy here is probably going to want to come up out of the way for a moment. Let's move him out of the way. And I'm going to now build this little area down in the corner. Let's come into the corner here and build this little area in the corner here. And again, this is something which we're going to kind of fake. So I'm going to start off with this corner by creating a rectangular shape, just like this. Rectangular shape, simple. And let's view fit page and window so I can show you how I get the color. And I'm just going to use the eyedropper tool to grab the color from here, and it'll tell me it's a low proximity. Don't worry, for now it's fine, but I have again the stroke selected, so what I want to do is swap it, and now I have that, and that's on the image layer. Okay, So all these images and all that stuff's on the image layer. Now, incorrectly, I have these text frames on the image layer. See that? So what I want to do is I want to select all three of these guys, and I want to put them on their correct layer, which would be right there. Now they're on the correct layer. The text belongs on the text layer. Okay, and it's the same with this. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, but it's easy. All you gotta do is click on this. There's a little icon. It's showing you what layer it's on. Let me show the layer. I'm just gonna move it up to the next layer, which by doing that, by just dragging it to that little square right there, and now all the text is on that layer, and all the graphics is on its layer. Oh, once again, same problem. I wasn't paying attention. These guys also get moved up to the text layer. You know, again, you could do this at any time, so it's not like there's a real harm going on here. See, now that's what you got. You got all your text, and you have all your images, and it's a nice, neat organization. Hide the image, bring back the trace. Let's do these last two little bits, and then we can end this video. All right, so once again, I'm going to create a text frame right here, and I'm going to type in caps, holding down the shift key, IN space THISISSUE. All right, now I did have that on the text, but I figured, you know what, just as easy to type this in. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to start bringing up this size until I get the size that I want, which would be right about there, actually. I think that's it. And then just move it over. Yep, and there you go. That's basically in position. That's about what I want. I think I like it right there. And then we're going to make this thing, select it. We're going to make it white. And white or paper. There we go. All right, so if we bring the image back, that's what it looks like. Okay? All right, now, the last thing that we're going to do is this. We're going to, let's go back to my layers and let's select that. There. And I'm going to move this up a little bit, right about like that, because I want some extra space. All right. Now I'm going to create the final element, which is this. Now this is also fake stuff, so I can't even read what it says. So I'm just going to fake something. Let me just draw something out, and I'll fake something here. And I don't want this color on it at all. I want no color right now. I want this to be, or none. Sorry, there's what we want, none. And the same with the stroke. I don't want any stroke on it now. None. Okay. And I'm going to set text on it. And did I create a frame? Was that what I did? I think I actually did. I think I made a mistake. This is what I want. I want text frame. And I don't want any color. No color. No color. None. None. Come on. Whew. Wow, this is such a pain. All right, well, let me see if I get a color here. I don't think I will. I think I'll be fine. There we go. Okay. So I don't know what I'm going to put in here. I'm just going to put in. You know what? Let me try something. Type fill with placeholder text. There we go. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hit enter. Okay. And I'm going to delete this and hit enter. And there's my 3 lines of text. Let's make that right about there. Enter. Okay, and then I'm going to select the stuff from here on down. Delete it. Let's see what we have. Come back up here. Let me actually open this frame up. There we go. I want to get rid of this stuff here. Don't want any of that. There. Okay. Okay. So now I basically have 3 lines of fake text, which is fine for this. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this text is move it into position. First of all, I want that to be like, well, actually, I want that to be right there. That's what I want. And let's bring it down right about there. Okay. So here's what I want to do with this. I want to put in numbers. So I'm going to put in a tab space, and I'm going to type 1. Then I'm going to go to this line here, and hit 2, and I'm going to hit tab, and then I'm going to hit, or you could do it beforehand, tab, and then type in 3. And there's actually 4, but it doesn't matter that there's only 3 here. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to select the whole thing, and I want to go to the object menu and go to text frame options, and I want to come into my inset spacing, and I want to deselect, and I just want to go from the top. I want to come down to about there, and from the left I want to come into about there. So really it's 1 point inset spacing. I broke the link from the top 0.0625, and from the left 0.0625. Hit OK. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to place my cursor and go to Object, Tabs, and I got my tab stock ruler. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the right justified tabs. I don't really even need to do this, but I'm going to choose the right justified tabs, and I'm just going to drag that over to right about there. Okay? So you see it's right over here, and now I'm going to do the same thing with this. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to put leaders into this thing, and the leaders are going to be just dot leaders. Dot leaders. So that is what it'll look like. A dot leader, and you're going to put it over to right about there, which will be fine. Click on this one, and it's the same thing. I'm just going to click. I'm going to drag this over until it hits that point. It'll fly over to there. Dot leader. And then I move into this frame so that the dot leader becomes applied. And same with number 3. I'm just going to drag along this with my point until I reach that point right there. 3. Put a dot leader in, and that's a period. That's all you got to do for this. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to come in here and you're going to choose the fill, and you're going to go with black on the fill. And then you're going to tint the black down to like maybe 20%. Let's go to 20%. There. Okay? And now the final thing is to go to the View menu, Fit Page and Window, and I'm going to take this thing and just bring it up until it's right about there. And if I wanted to, I can select this text, or I can select this frame, I'm sorry, and Object, Text Frame Options, and then I can go with the inset, and I can increase the inset a little bit. And that's probably too much, so let's go 1.5, and let's see what 1.5 looks like. Perfect. Hit OK. I like that. And close this off. One final look, go to the View menu, go to Screen Mode, Preview, and actually hide the background layer as well. And there it is, guys. That's basically what you're going to want to do. You're going to take this thing, and you might adjust this a little bit. I don't know whether you might want to move this up a little bit. What you could do really is you could take this and this and this, and you could move that whole thing up a little bit. Oops, guess what? I didn't get all of it. Hold on. Oh man, I'm really messing this up big time. Let's see if I can get all of this selected. I got it. I don't want that. I don't want that, but I do want that. I don't want that. There. And what I could do now is I could just move this up a little bit. All right. And when I get it to where I want it, which probably is good right there, I can then take this guy and I can move this over a little bit and bring it down a little bit so that it isn't so jammed up near. This can move up just a tiny bit, like that maybe. And then if I want, I can do this and actually bring it to there. There we go. And there you have it. Okay? That's what you're going to create. I'm done with this video, and I will be doing this in class. Oh, and one more thing. One more little tiny detail. This little shape right there, Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Now, by doing that, that little bit of hangover was showing in front of this banner. Now it's hidden. That's what this whole thing should look like. I'm finished. That's how you do it, and I will go over the whole thing again in class this week.